Hello, dear friends and lovers of freedom all over the nations of the world. We welcome you to today, the 28th of June, 2022. Today is the court day of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And today we are resilient and we are desirous for him to be justly released. We are very stern and very, very determined that our leader must be released today. We are not going to take anything less than his release. We are not going to go and trade his release with anything. We are very, very expecting the government of Nigeria to release him today, and it's not a joke. Except they don't want things to normalize. And the only person who can talk to us and talk to us for us to listen to is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And for him to talk to us to listen, he must be out of the dungeon. And that is why we are saying today that he must be released. He will be brought to court. The court must not adjourn. The court must not play games. The time of games is not now. The games you have played for over 1 year now is enough. We are determined today that you must release him. It is our call because it is the solution to democratic processes in whatever you are expecting. So if you want us to listen, if you want things to normalize, you must make sure that he's released today. That is not too much to do. You can't hold a man unjustly, hold him without any reason. After committing so much injustice to him, after going against his fundamental human rights, after disrupting his peace, after breaking into his rights, and then you still have the guts to think that you can hold him down. No, it's not possible. You can't hold him down and expect us to be quiet. You can't hold him down and still expect things to be normal. And that is why we're telling you today that he must be released. The court must process it and make sure that he's released today. We're not telling you to transfer him to Kirikiri prison or to whatever prison you people have. We're telling you to release him to go home. Release him to go home. And then whatever negotiations you want to do or whatever things that you think you want to do can be done from there. Today is the day of the court sitting, and we are declaring our motive, declaring our decisions, declaring our own expectation that today Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must be released. And that is what we are all demanding. And all Biafrans all over the nations of the world are demanding for his release. We know that there are some people within who are actually, part of the reason why he is held today. They have done all they can do. They have done their worst, and they have done all they can do. And some of them are still fighting to make sure he's not released. But we are telling you that enough of all this nonsense, and those who think that they can always have their way in evil are no more going to have their way this time around, because truth must prevail. And the only thing that can set free and make free is truth. And that is why you cannot hold truth in the dungeon. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu represents truth, and you cannot hold him in the dungeon. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu represents justice. You can't hold him in the dungeon. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu represents the freedom of the people. He represents democracy. And if you hold him in a dungeon, you're actually saying that you don't want democracy. You're actually saying you don't want justice. You're actually saying you don't want truth. You're actually saying you don't want transparency. If you keep holding him, you're actually holding the principles of justice. And that is against international law. That is against international, justice. That is against international commitment. And so we are declaring today that he must be released. We're looking forward to having him in court. And we're looking forward to him being granted bail and released. And then if you want to pursue the case, it's up to you to continue to pursue it, because you have no case against him. You cannot indict him because you have no case against him. Everything you have raised against him is null and void, because it's obvious that he's fighting for the people. He's fighting for people like us. He's fighting for the nation of Biafra. And that is what we are determined, to do. I can see some people here who actually are against the movement and saying rubbish here. Well, we don't blame them anyways. Their lives will remain, they will be cut off. The Fulanis will soon cut off their heads because that is what they want. And so if you come here to comment rubbish, just expect that you are already commenting rubbish to your death. and to your destruction. Because we are not joking, we are serious. If you because of bitterness and envy and hatred, you are abusing people and talking against what is right, and your conscience have been soiled. Those whose conscience have been soiled are people who are reprobates, and they have their parts. God knows how to deal with them. So we know how you are going to end. If you are careful and Amadi, you know how you're going to end. Just expect your end very soon, because you are very stupid for coming here to talk rubbish. We're talking about justice. We're talking about freedom. We're talking about somebody who has done nothing and he must be freed. And you are here talking rubbish. You have just marked, signed, and sealed your end, because that is what you are going to represent. That is what is going to happen to you. You know, we believe that this day we're going to receive justice, and justice must prevail, and that is what our leader stands for. There is no way you can hold somebody who stands for justice and expect things to be normal. It's not possible. You can't hold, you can't hold people who are standing for justice. You can't hold somebody who represents justice. You can't hold somebody who is, an epitome of justice, and then you think that you can have things go on rightly. It's not possible. It's not possible. It's not possible. You must be. You must, you must know that for you to be able to get anything to work well, then you must stand for truth. And it is only truth that can set you free. It is only truth that sets free. And everybody who is standing against truth is going to be crushed by truth. Anybody who is standing against justice will be crushed by justice. Anybody who is standing against, the work, of success will be crushed by that work. So we are here and we are strongly saying that today our leader must be released. Nothing will stop it. Nobody can stop it. And he must be released for things to normalize. He is the only person who can speak to Biafrans. He is the only person who can speak to Biafrans, and Biafrans will listen. He is the only person who can speak to Biafrans, and Biafrans will listen. And that is why we are telling you today that you must make sure that you get him released today. Yes, thank you, Justice, for that. I don't really need to mind those people. That's true. We have to face the ball. We have to face the mark. And our focus is for us to continue and to do the work. And that is what we are here for. And Biafra must receive freedom. The people must receive their interest met today. They must have their mindset and their expectation met today. That is what we desire. Our leader must be freed today. We are not talking about next time. You have held him for over 1 year. And this is injustice at the highest level. This is injustice at the highest level. You can't hold somebody who is just, who is standing for the people. You can't say you are for the people and somebody who is standing for the truth is standing for the people. You are saying that person cannot receive his freedom, or that person must continue to be in the dungeon. It's not possible. You can't keep somebody who is standing for freedom against his will. You can't keep him down. So yes, I know that some of our people want to come in. So I'm going to put the post here. Let me put it here so that those of our people who want to come in can come in, and then we can talk this. We just have about another 15 minutes, we just have another 15 minutes to just do this, and then we'll be through for today, because it's not a long broadcast. It's not a long talk. We are still going to be coming out later in the day, and then to do what we have to do. This is the link, Mazi Justice, so you can use it to get our people to come in, and then we can run from here. We just have about 20 minutes to run this, and then we're out of here. And then in the afternoon, we're going to come with our broadcast after the whole thing, But we are demanding that he be released. That is what we are demanding. We are not committing any crime by asking for freedom. Nobody commits crime by asking for freedom. Why should you criminalize freedom? Why should you criminalize intentions for freedom? Nobody should criminalize anybody. If as Justice has said, if they don't release him today, we will show them another chapter of the struggle. Yes, that's it. Because when you push people to the wall, you are actually calling for them to react. You can't push. You have pushed Biafrans to the wall for the past 1 year. You can't hold a leader of over 70 million people and expect that these people will just keep quiet and be looking at you. No, we are not here because we want to fight you. We are not here because we want to have anything to have a loggerheads with you. No, we are here so that we can be free and allow even you that is fighting justice, fighting democracy, and fighting freedom. You also need it because the only way your life will get better is for you also to be free. So every one of us must be free. We are fighting for the freedom of everybody, including those who are fighting the thing, including those who are fighting the system. Um, Peter, good morning. You're welcome also to this, broadcast. And thank you. And I welcome you too. And please, if you're watching, please share this so that other people will hear and so that they will know that, yes, we are set for this. We want to stand and get our freedom. It is only Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that can talk to us. We have said that there will be no election in Biafra land, and we are serious. But when you release him, whatever he tells us to do, we will do. That he's the only one who can speak to us. But as long as we are concerned now, we are on autopilot mode. And so we just go until he comes back and then begins to operate the system, and then he can now decide which path and which way we have to take. But for now, he has set the template of where we are going by the last broadcast he made and by the last action that he made. And the supervising man, Mazi Nnamdi, is also on that mandate, which he left before he was captured by you and kept in the dungeon. He left that he set the mood that way, and Mazi Nnamdi has been supervising that mood continues. Then when you release him, when he comes out, he can determine the next mood, he can determine the next avenue to take, and then we can go with it. So that is the truth. We are very set to see that we receive our freedom. And that is what we are concerned. David Nana said, only idiotic, moronic, animalistic Nigeria useless youth and irats are against freedom. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's true. Dr. Lamida, you are doing good. Thank you so much for that compliment. And that is the truth. It is only, people who are, sometimes I wonder how people fight themselves. You are fighting those who are trying to help you get free. You don't know you are only killing yourself. You don't know that you are only going to get yourself hurt because you are going to continue to, and these people are coming closer. They are coming closer. They are entering from the northern borders, coming with the weapons, AK-47, kidnapping you, collecting monies, collecting ransoms, and all they are doing is acquiring weapons. And you're here ranting, and you're here fighting those who are fighting for your freedom. You better get sense. Yeah, that is why what David Nana have said is correct. It is only moronic people and who think that and fighting their own freedom is fighting other people is fighting against freedom. Or fighting other people means that they are going to stop what is going to happen because they are only fighting themselves by fighting those who are fighting for their freedom. Justice said something. Said we will show the Zoo government that we are Biafrans. Of course, that is what we are doing, and we are showing them that we are Biafrans. That's why we are standing on our ground. If they come to us with the other side, we are ready for the other side. But nobody wants the other side. Everybody wants things to work well. That's why we're asking for a referendum. That's why we're asking for things to be done normally. It's only normal human beings that sit down to discuss. When there's a disagreement, you sit down and discuss and iron things out. That is what we expect. People should be normal. People should think normal because the normal thing to do is to discuss. You discuss. When you have misunderstanding, you discuss. You don't use force. You can't use force to subjugate people. Those times have passed. 1967, when you tried to use all this force and media blackmail against us, is gone. This time around, you have to discuss with us and let us know, and so that we can decide our path. You don't force us to be part of you when we don't want to be part of you. For God's sake, no relationship succeeds when you are only after what I have. And because of what I have, the relationship must stand. No, it doesn't succeed that way. And that is what is going on in the system, nepotism and all of that, milking Biafra land, taking our resources, and all that they want is for us to continue to be together so that they will take our resources and then little by little take over the lands and then dissipate us, and then we become subjugated and become their slaves, and then they now take complete control of the resources. That is what we are not going to stand for, And Peter said, please help us tell them, because if they fail to release him by today, as they promised us, they are going to see the bad side of us, because we that is the truth. We have endured it so long. It's so painful. It's so painful when I think about how they have kept a man who is just a man who is of justice, who is of good conscience, kept him in the dungeon for 1 year plus, and yet we are not seeing things work. This and everybody, even the southern, even the southern people, even the southerners, even the Biafrans, the so-called Biafrans, are there promoting and helping these people to keep us down. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. And no reasonable person understands this kind of thing. No reasonable person can understand this kind of thing. No reasonable person can understand this. How do you understand this? How do you justify this? That a just man who is fighting for the freedom of everybody, including those who are, fighting fighting their own success and their own freedom. He's fighting for the freedom of everybody, and that is why he is there, and that is why we are fighting to get him free. It is very important. It is for the good of everybody, for the good of the contraption, Nigeria, for the good of everybody that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must be free. This is for the good of everybody. We are not fighting anybody. We are not quarreling with anybody. We want freedom. We want things to work. That is what we're doing. So the justice must prevail. Justice must prevail. Innocence, thank you. Biafra must stand. In Biafra, we stand. Yes, we stand strongly, and that is our resolve. We stand strongly for our freedom. What is there? Why can't people live normal lives? Why can't people live a life of normalcy? Why can't people do the right thing? Why can't people just have the reason to live and to live and rightly? Why can't we develop? Look at Africa, messed up. Everything is just messed up because we have people who are not concerned, because we are still subjugated. How can the land be developed when it is actually still under slavery? It's not possible. Where slaves stay, go and observe where slaves stay. Slaves stay in very, they don't stay in good places. Check where they stay and check where the masters stay. Their place is always low. You will know that this is a place for slaves. That is the same way they have done us. If you observe Biafra land and other places, you discover that Biafra land is looking like truly like a slave place, like where slaves live, and the other parts, Abuja and Co, they have used the monies to fix it for themselves, and also building themselves, cities all over the nations of the world, and building fine houses for themselves, other parts of the world, and taking our oil into their parts and crossing it into other parts of Africa and using it against us, buying weapons to kill us. So Biafra land is looking like where slaves live. If you have a good house, for instance, if you have a house and you see where the children of the owner of the house live, where they stay in normal setting, that's how it is. You'll see that where the slave stays is obviously showing that this person is a slave in this house. It's always different from where the owner of the house stays. So that is the same thing we're talking about here. Biafra land is looking like those who are slaves. They have the resources, they have everything. What do slave masters do? They use the strength and the resources of the people who are the slaves. They use the energy of the slaves. They use everything that the slaves are to better their own lives. That is what Egypt did to Israel. Israel was building the pyramid, building everything for because they were slaves. So whenever you are a slave, you will always be the one to use what you have for the benefit of the master. That is what is happening. That's why Biafra land cannot grow, because we are slaves. That is why it won't grow, because we are slaves. So we want to get free. When we get free, we shall be free indeed. Samson said, we pray he's released unconditionally today. Yes, that's what we're praying, and we believe that he will be released unconditionally. There's no need to have conditions on this matter. There's no need for anybody to hold him down for this long. It is against the right thing. Benjamin said, but that is why there must be no election in Biafra land, and it must be enforced. Yes, we are going to enforce it. We have said it, that there will be no election in Biafra land. Not possible. No election in Biafra land at all. Odile, your stuff, maybe you have to go out and come in again. It is not okay. It is open now. There will be no election in Biafra land.
My mic is mute. I'm no longer hearing you.
I think you can hear me now. I've refreshed, so I think we can hear me now. Can you hear me now? I hope I'm coming out now clear. I'm coming out clear. So what happens is that when people are naturally wicked, when they have this wicked tendency, when they become slaves, just like some of them are slaves in the Nigeria contraption, they use that wickedness to even deal with themselves. The slaves now, slave masters now use that wickedness as a tool against them and their own slave brothers and sisters. That is what is happening. So you see, most of these people who are sabotaging and doing lots of things, they are already wicked in their hearts. They are wicked people. So they now use that wickedness, diverting it into helping the slave masters to conquer and to subjugate. That's why you see them; they can do anything to subdue and to destroy what we're doing. So just like David Nana said, the dragon has said it all. Most of the fools shouting for election and Peter Obi, their brain have been used for Ngongo. Yes, that is it. What do you expect? They are naturally wicked to themselves, even to the world around them. So the most useless world youth is the youth, Nigerian youth. Yes, because they have been slaves for years. They have been slaves for years. So their slave mentality becomes a tool, destructive tool against themselves and against the people. That is why when people are wicked, they have to be careful. Because when you're wicked, you naturally become wicked to yourself and wicked to the system. And your wickedness will now be used as a tool by the slave masters to subjugate the people. So that is what they are. He said they have not changed any government policy against them. Sink, well, I didn't get that. Sink, since Lord Lugard created Nigeria. Shame, yes, but that is why we're speaking. We keep speaking so that they will begin to get change, so that they will begin to get themselves, to become useful to this. Mazi Dim, you are welcome to broadcast. We are talking about the freedom of our leader today, although we have a little time to spend here. Let me just read out some other comments. And Peter said, please, my good brother, still remind them. Yes, I have read that before, and we're reminding them today and that we are not talking about PVC. We're not concerned about PVC. We're not concerned about election. We are concerned about our leader and our freedom. That's what we are concerned. Mazi Dim Justice, you're welcome. I guess you have some things to say about this matter.
Yes, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, very, very clear. Go on.
Yes, it's obvious when you look at what is happening, you know that every what is happening in Abuja High Court today, every media has been blacked out. The zoo, DSS, police, all the zoo forces,
Mm,
they have forced all the media to black out of
mm,
this very court hearing today. So our people are kept in in darkness, so but we are here to discuss
yes.
and put our mouth and say one or two things that we understand about or we observe that is going on, because even the BBC,
Yes.
but they are not broadcasting or streaming the court hearing. The
Yes.
Sahara reporters, they are normal, they are no more doing it. So something is absolutely going wrong somewhere. But we
Mm.
don't really know what the zoo are planning for today. But I believe before the end of the day, we shall figure out one or two things. But one thing we really believe in is that our leader will be free, whether they like it or not. Whether they like it or not, we are not
Certainly.
begging them to release him. They will get tired,
Certainly.
they release him, they will release him. And whether our leader is here or not, the agitation for restoration of Biafra is will continue. We are not going back. We are not going to stop.
Definitely.
We are not going to stop, because what they planned was when they cage him inside there, everything would die off, and they use P2B and others to kill the vibes. But like seriously, they don't know what is coming, and I believe that in a few weeks and months to come, they will understand that we are no
You
go
see,
area.
that is why we're telling them that you see, it is for their good that they release him. It is not, they are not doing us a favor by releasing him. They have to understand it is for their good. Because we don't need to talk too much about some matters, but we know that whatever it is, however they see it, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be released, and we will get our freedom. So they don't need to fight it, and they don't need to think that they are doing us a favor by releasing him or doing us a favor by trying to, keep him in the detention. According to what they say, that keeping him in the detention is just to protect him and preserve him. No, they are not doing anything good for Biafrans by keeping him. They're only worsening the situation. And that is why we are strongly against
Can't hear you anymore. I don't know.
Okay, let me refresh. Let me refresh.
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Okay. So they must have to release our leader. They don't have any choice. All these people that are using P2B to confuse themselves and not us, they will be disappointed. So touch your mic so that I can hear you properly. I can hear you now. So touch it again.
Now. So just make your you can hear me now, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, please
Clearly.
just make your final comment so that we can go and observe and see. Then later in the afternoon, we're going to come back again to still talk. So, of course, you have said it. We don't expect so much from them. We don't expect so much from them, but all we're expecting from them is not a favor. It is what they have to do because they are against international dictates and principles by holding our leader. And they are committing criminal offenses, international crime by keeping him there. So just say, what do you have to say more
Yes,
towards this?
the only thing I have to tell our people is to remain vigilant, remain resolute. Understand? Don't allow these people to come and tell you that we have to vote, that we have to do one or two things and put Igbo person there to so that the Biafra will come.
That's rubbish.
Believe me, you. That is a lie. Understand? If having an Igbo president there is even what will make Biafra not to come. We don't want an Igbo person to rule Nigeria anymore. We don't want, because there will be no change. There will be no difference. And when even if Peter Obi succeeds in winning this election, he's even more intelligent than all these people that have been there. They will use him to try to crash everything, and he will do it. Understand? And you see, if you people that would have been observing, you see that before the PDP primaries, he was invited at the number 10 Downing Street. What was the meeting all about? And after that, the end of the day, that day, he called off. He resigned from PDP and joined Labour Party. And since then,
Yeah,
he has been shouting,
that
articulate.
is
And he's telling
this
you, he has been telling people that he's not desperate to win the election because he know he's not going to win. Even if he
definitely he
wins,
knows.
they will not give it to him. So you see what
Of
what
course.
is going on. The result of the registered voters now, as of now, the North alone is having 40 something million, while the whole South is having about 30 million or so.
These
So
are the things we're going to talk about
what
in
are
the
you talking?
afternoon. We're going to talk
Honestly, yeah.
more on this in the afternoon.
So
And
please,
definitely, yes.
my people, we don't, the way our mindset has been built, nobody can manipulate me. I don't know about you. You don't have to allow people to keep on manipulating you. Like I tell you that this thing is, I beg you for today, this week, for this time, you give me chance. Next time again, I come again with another manipulation to beg you to come. That let us do one thing different this time around. Yes, we have called for a boycott of election in the previous times, which was called off for one reason or the other. That but this time will be different, because you have to know that Simon Epa is involved. Once a soldier is always a soldier, and the soldier
That is
never
it.
backs out in what he believes in. Understand?
And not only
So this
Samanepa,
time
we are
around
behind
will
him
be
too.
different.
The media team and
Yes,
everybody,
we are
everybody, we are
solidly
behind him, and
behind him, and
yes,
a lot of
we are
things,
resolute.
a lot of things is going to happen. A lot of things is going to happen in the coming days, and people will begin
That
to
is it.
see it. Those people that used to come here to comment rubbish, to say
Mm.
nonsense, that what of the previous ones, that this one they will rendition this person, those people, they have lost their conscience. Understand? Let us not be with them. Remain resolute. Whether
Slave
our leader
mentality.
is out or not out,
Yeah.
we will do what we are supposed to do. But we know that he will be out.
That is it.
They don't have any chance than
He'll
release
be
him.
out,
They
definitely.
must release him. They must
Yes.
release him. They must.
That's the only
Thank
option.
you.
Thank you so much, Dame. We're going to talk more, on these things, in the afternoon as soon as we get the outcome of the court processes. We know that we are keeping strong our plans, and we know that we just wish them they understand that it will be to their own in favor if they release him. So they should better understand that. Let them not think they are doing us favor because they have to release him. So thank you everyone for joining this. Please share and let the broadcast go wide. Go to the YouTube channel, click and subscribe to Dotland Media Network and see that you make sure that it goes viral, because we have to get our news and our issues far and wide all over the nations of the world. Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you, Dim Justice, for joining. And we're going to come back still in the afternoon. We're going to post the time later to them to know when we're
Yes.
going to be coming. At least 4 p.m.
Yes.
Biafra
Thank you
time, we're
very
going to be
much,
here,
Kelechi.
and
Yeah.
then we're going to talk. Thank you so much. So everybody, please be strong and stay resolute and expect the best. Thank you so much.